Hello, and welcome to your training. This presentation is designed to inform you of the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards and what you need to know to implement them in your food service program. This training is designed for food procurement staff to provide greater understanding for what to consider as part of your purchasing and food preparation decisions. The first part of this training will cover background information on why the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards are important to providing healthy options to individuals served. Of the 10 largest cities in the United States, Philadelphia has some of the highest rates of poverty and related chronic diseases. Philadelphia has the highest rates of premature death from cardiovascular disease and the second highest rates of adult diabetes prevalence. These issues begin in childhood. Across the nation, 1 in 3 children are at risk of developing diabetes within their lifetime. For African American and Latinx children, that number is 1 in 2. The city of Philadelphia serves nearly 14.5 million meals and snacks to over 207,000 individuals each year. While many agencies follow existing nutrition standards and criteria, they can be inconsistent across programs. Comprehensive nutrition standards reinforce the city's commitment to high-quality care for the people its programs serve. These nutrition standards help to protect people from deadly diseases and help them live long, healthy, and productive lives. The nutrition standards are based on the 2015 to 2020 USDA Dietary Guidelines, the food standards adopted by the federal government and other local governments, and review and feedback from city agencies. As the dietary guidelines and other public health information are updated, the Philadelphia Department of Public Health will make periodic revisions to the standards to ensure they align with the latest dietary guidance. Per Executive Order 414, all city agencies that purchase, serve, sell, or otherwise provide food must follow the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards. This includes contracted vendors and organizations. Where possible, agencies are encouraged to incorporate non-mandatory best practices for healthy meetings, sustainability, and non-vending concessions. Some examples include correctional facilities, youth detention centers, city-funded after-school and summer programming, shelters, adult care, vending machines on city-owned or leased property. The Philadelphia Nutrition Standards are broken up into several sections that include required and recommended guidelines. Required standards include guidelines for purchased foods, meals and snacks served, nutrient standards, population-specific standards with exceptions for children, and vending standards for beverages, snacks, and meals. There are also recommended standards for meetings and parties, sustainability guidelines, and public concessions, catering, and special events. Knowledge check. True or false? If a city department is regulated by other nutrition standards, state or federal, it does not have to follow the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards. The next section covers basic information to consider when making purchasing decisions. This information applies to programs who purchase individual food products through a city bid and for those that work with outside vendors to provide program meals. If your program purchases individual products through city bids, you will take the following steps. Step 1. Reference Philadelphia Nutrition Standards, Section 1, Purchased Food Standards. Step 2. Identify the item that is being purchased. Add appropriate language to the commodity description. Step 3. Add specs to pricing sheet and highlight response cells to remind vendors to submit relevant nutrition information. The next several slides walk through steps to take for specific products, using sliced bread as an example. Step 1. Look up the product type within the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards. Step 2. Add appropriate language to the commodity description, less than or equal to 180 milligrams of sodium per serving, greater than or equal to 2 grams of fiber per serving, whole grain rich, at least 50% whole grain. Step 3. Add specs to pricing sheet and highlight response cells to remind vendors to submit relevant nutrition information. Using canned or frozen vegetables as an example. Step 1. Look up the product type within the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards. Step 2. Add appropriate language to the bid specification, less than or equal to 290 milligrams sodium per serving. Step 3. Add specs to pricing sheet and highlight response cells to remind vendors to submit relevant nutrition information. Please take the following steps if you work with an outside vendor that makes and delivers meals to your program. For example, sandwiches provided for police and sheriff's departments. Step 1. Reference Philadelphia Nutrition Standards, Section 1, Purchased Food Standards. See sample page to the right. Step 2. Include relevant specifications for any specific food items requested. Step 3. Include the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards, Sections 1 and 2, as an appendix to the bid invitation. Here is an example using a cheese sandwich as the product. Step 1. Look up the meal components within the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards. In this case, you would look up the standards for sliced bread and processed cheese food product. Step 2. Write the meal component specification. Using the example to the right, a clear product description that includes the standards is written into the bid. Step 2. Continued. Add other specifications relevant to the meal item. Using the example to the right, clearly describe any other information that must be considered regarding product packaging and other required meal components. Step 3. Include the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards, Sections 1 and 2, as an appendix to the bid invitation. If your program is served by a food service management company, you will take the following steps. Step 1. Reference in the RFP Philadelphia Nutrition Standards, Section 1, Purchased Food Standards, and Section 2, Meals and Snacks Served. Step 2. Include the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards, Sections 1 and 2, as an appendix to the bid or RFP invitation. Step 3. Include process for evaluating proposals for adherence to the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards. Step 4. Forward to the Division of Chronic Disease and Injury Prevention for review during bid or RFP development. Knowledge check. Please choose the correct answer. What spec should this item get? Knowledge check. Please choose the correct answer. What spec should salad dressing get? The following slides outline steps to determining if a product meets nutrition specifications. Step 1. Check whether the vendor submitted information meets the nutrition spec. Step 2. Ask the vendor for the product specification sheet and/or product label for information if you have any doubts about the information submitted. Here is another example using canned green beans. As you can see, this item meets the specification listed on the left because they contain just 10 milligrams of sodium per serving. Step 3. If you have a question regarding specific items, ask your contact in the Department of Public Health and/or Procurement Department. Step 4. If you cannot locate a product that fits your needs, ask your vendor what they can provide. Knowledge check. Please answer the following yes/no question, looking at this example using canned corn. Yes or no, does this product meet the spec identified here? How about this product? Does this beverage meet the specification identified here? Select yes or no. The final step to ensuring that product specifications are accurately represented across platforms requires making sure that the product you are referring has a description that matches the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards information. As you build the contract and ad pics, you may notice that some commodity descriptions do not include relevant Philadelphia Nutrition Standards information. What to do? 1. Write a new spec based on the closest matched commodity description. 2. Work with a spec writer to make sure it is written correctly. 3. Contact the Specifications Unit Manager, Joni Washington, to ask permission to add a new commodity code to match the description. Thank you for taking the time to learn about the Philadelphia Nutrition Standards and how they fit into your purchasing activities. Please click on the link below to verify your completion of this module.